This time on Monkey Life. Alison heads north to bring back Ruby, a marmoset with attitude.
Oh, are you threatening me already?
And a bit of a weight issue.
She's a nice little chunky lady.
Yeah,
she's not skinny. You're not skinny, missus.
Baby orangs Rieke and Bulu Mata discover the ups and downs of life in the nursery.
They find each other hilarious, so they spend their days doing this, playing around.
And after some home renovations at one of the chimp enclosures, it's young Thelma who leads the way. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
They're all going to have a chance to live proper lives again. Perfect.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. Today, Park Director Alison is heading north to Grimsby to rescue a marmoset, a small species of monkey the park is regularly asked to rehome. This time, it's a black-tufted female called Ruby. In the last 5 years, the team has come to the aid of more than 50 monkeys, all victims of the British pet trade, something Alison has campaigned against for many years.
We've built 2 separate facilities to house all of these animals, and I've still got a waiting list. Ruby is one of the lucky winners because she's advanced to the top of the list because it's a female. And right now we're having difficulties with a couple of particular individual males, which we think would do better, perhaps having a female as companionship.
Ruby's owners called Alison because the marmoset is increasingly aggressive and biting members of the household. They just can't cope.
Yet again, another well-meaning person and family who have spent a ton of money trying to make a good home and environment for this wild animal that simply isn't going to make a good pet. So I've agreed to take Ruby on, and we're off to collect her now.
Ruby lives in this bungalow with her animal-loving family, Dawn and Tony, and their 2 dogs, 2 cats, and several rabbits.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
I'm Alison.
Hiya.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Hi, boys.
It doesn't take long to meet Ruby. She comes to introduce herself.
Hello, missus. Hey, you.
Monkeys kept as pets are often overweight, overfed by well-meaning owners who don't know enough about their natural diet.
Oh, are you threatening me already? You don't need to do that yet. Hi, you. Are you a good girl?
She's a nice little chunky lady.
Yeah,
She's not skinny.
You're not skinny, missus.
What's this? You're going to have to come see me.
Good girl. Excellent job.
She loves that.
Yeah.
It seems Ruby has no problems with eating, mobility, or confidence.
What made you decide to get a marmoset?
Well, we didn't decide to get one. Somebody had told us about her and said that she wasn't being treated very well. So we basically went and rescued her.
And was she in a poorly state when you got her?
Yeah, she was a bit timid when we first got her, and she wouldn't come to us, but she soon come out of her shell.
Ruby.
In fact, Ruby got so overconfident, she started interacting with the family's other pets, grooming the cats and teasing the dogs and attacking the rabbits.
Oh, and hello, bunnies. Yes, we're going to save you.
In theory, Ruby lives in this parrot cage, but the door is always open.
That's how it is all the time. It's just open. She comes and goes in it as she pleases.
And that would be what you normally feed her of a day?
Yeah, we just give her some mixed fruit and obviously bugs. Bits of veg I give her.
Okay.
It seems Ruby has the run of the house and is basically ruling the roost.
She even goes in and out the cat flap on her own. So sometimes she goes out even when we're out.
Oh, you're joking?
No.
Did you want some more?
The challenge now is to get her into the crate.
Well, you'll have to walk over, actually. I'm not going to deliver all of them.
Ideally, Alison wants to limit any stress by getting Ruby to walk in by herself.
Look, it's lovely in there. It's your bed in there. And if you just go inside...
Look, I'm putting it all the way in the back. And then it's in there. Really impressed. She's very calm and cool about this whole thing.
It's clear that the family are upset that Ruby's going, but they know they're making the right decision for her future.
We'll take good care of her, and I will text you along the way and let you know as soon as we're there, and then let you know how she goes with. All right, look after yourself. Aw, sweetheart. Yeah. She's not freaking out. She's not doing anything. No, this is going to be far harder on you guys. We'll speak soon. Bye-bye.
It's an emotional goodbye for the family as they watch Alison and Ruby set off for the 5-hour drive back to Dorset. With Alison and Ruby on their way back to Monkey World, Steph from the primate care team is preparing a bedroom for the new arrival.
It's always interesting for us when we get an animal like this into the park. We do typically find that a lot of them have been taken away from their parents way too young, so they actually develop slightly strange personalities. They don't behave in natural ways to marmosets. They just act a little bit differently. They don't communicate in the same way. They can have a lot of things like stress-related behaviours that they've picked up in their time in the pet trade. So it's finding a group that she can interact well with and help her as she settles in, but not a group that she's obviously going to be feisty with, which we think she could be a feisty female because of the interaction she's had with her owner's pets. So it'll be an interesting challenge for us, finding a group that fits for her.
Last year, the park opened the new marmoset complex with 14 bedrooms to try and cope with the influx of pet trade victims. Some were rescued from appalling conditions, others because the owners couldn't cope. So each new arrival comes with its own set of issues.
It's like playing a game of marmoset Tetris. It's kind of like who fits in with who. Obviously rescuing the guys from the pet trade, they are coming into a better life with us straight away, but it's not as simple as soon as they come in, that's it, job done, everything's going to be wonderful. It's a complicated sort of business of working out who your personalities are, who you're going to fit together, who's going to be best in the long term. And even when you do get a new group formed, there's no guarantee that in 6 months' time you're not going to get one of those group members pushed out, and you'll have to reshuffle and think about how you can introduce them together.
Alison has reported back about Ruby's keen appetite, and the team are poised with the marmoset weighing scales.
Ruby's sort of an average, good-sized marmoset. She should be around the sort of 400 mark. If she's a bit on the chubby side, she'll be closer to 500, and then we'll have to look at her weight when she comes in. We'll weigh her when she does come in. And if she is a bit chubby, we'll have to react accordingly, put her on a little bit of a diet, just restrict her food a little bit to try and get her within the normal sort of range for a marmoset.
The marmoset scales could be in for a bit of a shock. There's another group of primates who've had a weight problem in the past, but life is now blossoming for the residents at the Stumpy House, and they're about to get a special, lightweight treat. The stump-tailed macaques are known affectionately as the ugly monkeys, and today, Nicola from the primate care team has brought beautiful camellia flowers and apple blossom for their breakfast. There are 9 members of the group, but low-ranking Flo, one of the females, doesn't often get a look in when they all emerge together, so she's let out first. Flo arrived last year from a rescue centre in Munich. She's still finding her feet, so to make sure she gets enough, she gets a bit of a head start. While Flo tries to work out if she prefers the white or the pink blossoms best, the other 8 stumpies head out to see what they've been missing. Sam, the leader of the group, isn't overly impressed with the colourful breakfast. But Charlie is delighted. It seems she has a taste for apple blossom. While the rest of the group gets stuck in, Flo backs off and bides her time. Jonathan is another low ranker. He tucks in before Noreen moves in and takes over his stash of blossoms. With everyone else enjoying the delicacy, Sam opts to give it another try, and this time decides the apple blossom tickles his taste buds. Miriam's happy to have Charlie's leftovers. While Sam, having now approved the white flowers, examines the pink camellias. One sniff, and they're ejected. But Sylvie and Charlie both rate this morning's breakfast as a gourmet meal worth fighting over. Top female Kelly, with Noreen as backup, wades in to sort it out. But the squabbling pair aren't giving up easily. Meanwhile, the tasty treat has put Maureen in a good mood, with Flo the beneficiary of a quiet grooming session. But it only takes a rumble of thunder and a summer rain shower for the Stumpies to forget breakfast and head back indoors. Only Flo stays outside, taking shelter and keeping an eye on the rest of that breakfast. Once the rain stops, there'll be a chance of second helpings. It's worth the wait. At the top of the park, the Orang nursery has some new and very special residents. 18-month-old Rieke and 2-year-old Bulu Mata have got their very own playroom. It's recently been finished, and the care team have made sure there's plenty to keep the two youngsters entertained.
This playroom is big enough for both of them to have plenty of space. It's tall enough for them to learn how to climb up high and to not be scared of heights. We have a lot of housing quite close together, so they always have a bit of hose within reach, so it makes it easier for them to climb around.
But life hasn't always been great for the pair. Both babies are orphans. Bulu's mother died when he was just a few days old, and he came to the park from Budapest Zoo at 3 months. Rieke arrived from Berlin after she was rejected by her mother just weeks later, so the pair have been hand-reared together by the park team and are great friends. And now they're big enough to spend all day playing in their own specially designed nursery.
They have all their meals in here, and they have 3 bottles a day, but also we feed them solid food. We put solid food near the top bit of the enclosure, so they have to climb up to eat, just to encourage them to move around and to search for their own food.
As orphan babies, it's been great to have playmates their own age.
For Rieke, it's really good having a little orangutan that's a bit older, just a bit older than her. She follows Bulu around. If Bulu climbs up high, even if it's a bit scary for Rieke, she will follow him. But Rieke is braver than Bulu. She's catching up.
Because the playroom is right next to the older nursery orangs, the duo can meet them safely through the mesh. This means by the time they're old enough to join them, they'll be very familiar and comfortable with the whole group.
They are really close to the other kids, so they are really used to them. They really know them. They hear them, they smell them. So it's really good that they are 24/7 here with the others.
Lewis and the team still play with them a little, so they're used to being handled. But the goal is for the pair to be fully independent.
They pretty much spend the whole day together, and they don't really need us that much. They love each other, they spend the days playing with each other. They find each other hilarious, so they spend their days doing this and jumping on top of each other and playing around.
The park has 4 chimp enclosures, one for the bachelor boys, another for Paddy's family, plus Sally's young group, and one led by Hananya, who was rescued from the black market trade in Israel. The maintenance staff have spent the last few days at his enclosure, replacing some of the older, worn-out structures and adding new climbing frames, bridges and tunnels to make things fresh and interesting. It's ready to be unveiled to 20 stir-crazy chimps who've spent the time indoors, unsure what's been going on outside. They're pretty keen to find out, but they need to wait for the primate care staff to do one final check to make sure nothing's been left behind. The staff are also putting out breakfast, distributing it around the newly transformed enclosure. Once the slides are opened, it's a big rush to the outside, and it's Hananya who leads the way. As always, Patricia combines exploring with eating, scooping up a handful of food before climbing one of the new posts. As the group's leader, Hananya tests the new poles to make sure they're strong enough. But top-ranking female Cherry is a bit unsure about the new look. And Patricia needs a helping hand, plus a bit of encouragement from the youngest in the group, 2-year-old Thelma, as she crosses the newly installed bridge. And that's not the only thing the chimps are wary of. A rather large vertical tunnel is somewhat perplexing. What are we supposed to do with that? Again, it's up to intrepid youngster Thelma to show them how it's done. Thelma was born at the park 2.5 years ago. Hananya is her dad, and high-ranker Cherry is her mum, which means she'll always be top of the tree too, as youngsters inherit their rank in chimpanzee society. Thelma loves playing with the adults, and they're happy to give her attention. She has lots of loving aunties and uncles. Auntie Cookie is persuaded to carry her across a rope bridge from above and below. But for the others, with the new apparatus having been given the once-over and approved, it's on with the important job of munching contentedly on breakfast. Marjolaine is hoping Cherry will share her branch full of tasty leaves. So when little Thelma takes over the branch from her mum, Marjolaine takes advantage and purloins the branch for herself, showing that youngsters only get so much leeway when mum isn't there to help. But it's no big deal for little Thelma. She knows there's plenty more and heads down to ground level, with a little help. Testing out new home renovations is exhausting work, so time for a nap before lunch. At the top of the park, there's an important arrival. Ruby the marmoset from Grimsby has made the long journey south with Alison.
She's absolutely brilliant. We've put her in the box and she's traveled down, had snacks along the way. I'm really impressed. She's quite a strong little character. We just have to hope she's going to be as good with the marmosets.
After a long debate about which group Ruby might get along with, the care staff have 2 adult males in mind, Jock and Colin. Jock is older by 2 years, and the pair have a sort of father-son relationship. The hope is that Ruby will bond with Jock and accept Colin as part of the family.
The question is whether or not Jock is dominant enough over Colin that Colin will act subservient and that the 3 of them might go together. Otherwise, it might split up just into her pair bonding with one of them or the other.
Despite the upheaval, Ruby seems totally unfazed.
She's tubby. I don't think anything's going to stop her eating, so...
For the first day and night, Ruby will be in a bedroom opposite Jock and Colin. That way they'll get used to the sight and smell of each other before they meet. It's very different from the life Ruby's left behind.
She would go out the cat flap and over to the neighbors next door who were an elderly couple and say hi. And so when they'd come home, she'd either be returned to the house or she might be visiting next door.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Come on, Rubes. Come on then. Take your time, Steph's coming.
Okay. Hey, Rubes.
Ruby is straight into her new home. She's remarkably swift and agile for such a well-built marmoset.
We were talking earlier about how 500 grams is slightly on the chubby side and around that area. Our Miss Ruby has weighed in at 630 grams, which is a little on the large size, sort of double XL for a marmoset. But she looks pretty healthy despite that. She's moving around really, really well. She's using the enclosure. She's able to leap around on the branches. So I guess over the next few months, while she gets used to our food and our diet, we'll just work on trying to shave a few of those extra bits off. But right now, she's definitely in the more to love category.
All the marmosets in the park get vitamin D3 and calcium for strong bones. Clearly, Ruby has had a substantial diet and spent a lot of time outside, but it's still likely she'll need the vitamin supplement to stay healthy.
This. Delicious. She seems like she's taking all of this really in her stride. Her feistiness will be interesting when it comes to introducing her to new friends. But yeah, I'm really happy because it's not very nice when they come in and they're obviously terrified of what's gone on. So the fact that she's very confident and seems quite sure of herself is a good step.
Next time on Monkey Life, an unexpected arrival is on the way and causing concern at the golden-cheeked Gibbon house.
There is no sign of that baby coming out naturally, and have actually called out the vet and we're just waiting on him.
And it all goes nuts in the Capuchin enclosure. This time on Monkey Life, an unexpected arrival is on the way at the golden-cheeked Gibbon house, and it's causing concern.
There is no sign of that baby coming out naturally, and have actually called out the vet and we're just waiting on him.
A female from France fails to charm aging Saki monkey Jethro.
Jethro doesn't seem that bothered, to be honest.
But the care team are optimistic.
Hopefully they'll just get more and more used to each other as the days pass.
And it's all gone nuts in the Capuchin enclosure. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Smells a bit macaque in there, but yeah, we're good.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. All the primates in the park enjoy the companionship of their own kind, and many close relationships are formed. None more so than golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tuan. They're totally loved up. Put together as young gibbons just 2 years ago, they bonded quickly. Now they're rarely out of each other's reach and are often found snuggled up together.
They will usually hug when they're just sitting up in the trees. They will hug when they're sitting waiting for their dinner. They will hug in the morning when they're watching up the hill for us to come down with breakfast. They are an incredibly close couple and usually having some kind of physical contact.
Because Monkey World is a rescue centre, most of the female primates are given contraception to control breeding. But recently, keepers began to suspect Kim might be pregnant and did a test. The result was negative. But this morning, the team arrived to find Kim curled up on her own, hugging her tummy and showing signs of distress.
Straight away, it was very obvious that Kim wasn't quite herself. She was lying down on top of the radiator and she was stretched out and just looking in a very uncomfortable position and clearly not very happy.
Testing gibbons to see if they're pregnant isn't easy, and it's notoriously difficult to get accurate results. So the keepers kept a watchful eye on the young gibbon. And now, Kim's unusual behaviour this morning and the way her stomach is contracting has led the care team to believe she's definitely pregnant, and what's more, could be about to have the baby.
We're hoping what we're seeing right now is Kim going through the early stages of labour, and we're going to let nature run its course and obviously try to not intervene or give her any stress or anything. Just keep quiet and keep a close eye on her over the next couple of the hours. Hopefully, later on today, we will see a little baby and a very happy Kim.
Another primate at the park who could do with a little love and companionship is elderly Saki monkey Jethro, and today he's in for a big surprise. Jethro is a 26-year-old white-faced male Saki monkey. He was hand-reared and lived as a pet until 4 years ago, when he arrived at the park. Since then, he's had company, but not of his own kind. And nowadays, he shares an enclosure with the squirrel monkeys. Jethro is an extremely popular pensioner at the park, with a gentle nature, but he likes to keep himself to himself. He spent a long time living with humans, but he does have some natural Saki behaviours. He knows how to flirt, which Saki monkeys do by flicking their tongues, and it's hoped he may use his moves on a new companion. What he doesn't know is that Alison has been working hard to find him one, and she's on her way.
We actually have a new arrival at the park today. Her name is Chloe, and she's a white-faced Saki monkey, and hopefully she's going to be a new friend for Jethro.
Unlike the males, females are brown. Chloe has arrived from a zoo in France, where she was living with a group of young Sakis. She's also in her 20s, and it's hoped Jethro and Chloe will live out their twilight years together. It's going to be a life-changing day for Jethro.
He hasn't lived with another female Saki in quite a few years, since his sister died when he was still being kept as a pet. So we're not really sure what he's going to do. He is quite human-focused, so he might not really pay her a lot of attention, or he might have missed Saki company quite a lot, so then in that case he'd be really interested in her. There you go, baby. You have to let go. That's it. You wanna come out? Oh, hello. Hi there.
Before being introduced, the team placed the pair in adjacent bedrooms so they can see, smell, and hear each other. Jethro is a quiet and gentle geriatric, and the team feel he's more likely to be bemused than aggressive when they meet. Luckily, it seems Chloe's a pretty laid-back lady, and the prospects for friendship look hopeful. But introductions are a serious business, so they take place in the bedrooms where the team can easily intervene if necessary.
She's pretty calm and chilled out. I don't think she's panicked in any way.
She isn't, but she has spotted Jethro.
She's already showing lots of interest in him. When we walked her in the crate, she was at the front of the crate looking at him straight away. And there is clear perspex between the two rooms, but it's clear perspex that she has been able to see him and she has been watching him already. So she knows he's there and she looks quite eager to meet him.
And with Jethro looking calm and mellow about the whole business, the team decide they can meet. Chloe walks very slowly and cautiously into Jethro's room. The first thing she does is go over to introduce herself. But Chloe might be a little too forward for him. After all, it's been a long time since he's had a lady friend.
Jethro seems a bit confused, maybe, by her. He's moving away from her a bit, but she seems very keen on him and is following him around and sniffing at him. So yeah, it's going really well so far. Just need Jethro to realise that she's actually just going to be a friend and not to be wary of her.
Having been slightly rebuffed, Chloe sets off to explore her surroundings and is pretty confident despite the new environment.
She's been all the way around and knows where everything is, so she seems quite content.
Jethro, meanwhile, is scent marking, rubbing his neck on the branches to show it's his territory. Although not aggressive, he's not used to sharing his space and wants the new arrival to know exactly whose territory this is. Despite him trying to guard his patch, Chloe isn't bothered, and as far as she's concerned, this is her new home.
Jethro doesn't seem that bothered, to be honest. He's quite happy with her just being in the room with him. Hopefully they'll just get more and more used to each other as the days pass.
Over in Franco's Capuchin group, it's going to be a morning of monkey puzzles. Most of this group are youngsters, and since they were rescued from laboratory cages in Chile in 2008, they've grown up a lot. They've learned great moves and many natural foraging skills. Today they've been given 2 puzzling treats: nuts in their shells and frozen mango. Capuchins are clever. In the wild they smash open shellfish, but frozen mango just won't crack. Picking bits off is the answer. Fabian knows to crack this problem, he's going to need a bit of peace and quiet. Marcy tries the tooth cracker approach, cleverly turning the nut to find weak spots. William opts for brute force, repeatedly bashing the nut on the wooden beam. But Eliza hasn't quite got the hang of this yet. She won't get anywhere hitting her nut on a rubber hose. But clever Frida is working on the theory it takes a nut to crack a nut, and is hitting hers against the metal nuts and bolts of the climbing frame. Finding one isn't enough, she tries all 3 in the pipe shelter. And she's in. For Franco, a laid-back, relaxed approach has brought rewards. But some of his friends are finding the whole thing very frustrating. The last puzzle is in the pond. Capuchins don't swim, so how does a hungry monkey get to a floating nut? Franco plays the waiting game, till it drifts into range. But Frida loses patience and pushes hers away by mistake. For youngest lad Fabian, it's mission impossible. So he hops down to prove the youngest can be the cleverest Capuchin of all. At the Gibbon house, where keepers suspect golden-cheeked Kim is about to give birth, the young primate is still looking uncomfortable. It's been several hours now and there's been no change in her condition.
We're starting to be really quite concerned now. The labour that she's going through doesn't seem to be progressing at all. There is no sign of that baby coming out naturally, and have actually called out the vet as well, and we're just waiting on him. We're also noticing that Tien's just kind of hanging back out of the way. Normally he's very attentive and giving her lots of hugs, but he's just keeping out of her way right now and letting her get on with things.
Most primates at the park give birth on their own. Bringing in the vet signals real concern amongst the care team.
Hello. How are you?
Vet Thezar thinks they've made the right decision.
Okay, but she's been actively straining since the morning, since early morning.
Since 9 o'clock, yeah.
So we are already the process has started. I think it'll be silly not to do something about it now.
And that means Kim will need to be sedated so she can be taken to the park's hospital for Thezar to examine her.
Okay, let's go.
Grab a plate. It's bug again.
If Kim is in labour, she may need a cesarean, and there's only ever been 2 of those in the history of the park. It's a big worry. The whole team are here to help, and Alison has been called in too. Kim is given an anaesthetic so the vet can perform an ultrasound to check that there is a baby.
It's moving. Whether that's her moving it or it moving, it's moving.
The scan shows a definite heartbeat, but there could be a problem.
This is low. This should be faster than that. Obviously, it's got a massive head. Look at the head.
Thezar's going to have to perform an emergency cesarean to get this baby out in time.
I think now time goes against us a bit. Is that be big enough? No.
No. It's huge.
As the baby appears, there may be a clue why Kim was so uncomfortable. Her waters haven't broken, even though she's been having contractions for hours.
Okay,
look at the head. That's it. Perfect.
But there is something wrong. The baby should be breathing on its own by now. This little one looks like it needs help.
Just a shame that there was
Okay, all yours. So if he goes with a clamp, you can get rid of the clamp whenever you want. That's great, thank you.
The first job is clearing the airway. And rubbing should stimulate the lungs. But Alison's worried.
I'm not convinced that we're doing a whole lot here, Thezar.
For the next 20 minutes, Alison uses all her experience to try and get the baby Gibbon to breathe.
Come on, gag, gasp, do anything.
But it's not looking good.
I'm not seeing any breaths, I'm not feeling any breaths, there's certainly no gasping.
Nothing is working.
I think we've lost him. Anybody disagree?
All the team can do now is concentrate on Mum Kim and hope they can successfully bring her round from the anaesthetic. At Levar's woolly monkey enclosure, there are hard-to-get treats on offer. Pine cones packed with raisins, nuts and seeds. Pine trees grow in the enclosure, so the woolies are used to pulling apart these cones to look for insects and nuts.
Levar's group are really good with enrichment, anything that's a bit of fun, a bit different, and obviously you've got some nice tasty treats in there. They really enjoy them.
There are 5 woolies in Levar's group. Younger boys Enzo, Manny and Bueno Jr. are all lower ranking. The only lady is Quapper.
Quappa's quite a feisty, dominant female, so she takes no nonsense from the boys. Levar's very laid back, chilled out, dominant male. Does like to have a good old play session with the boys when he's feeling jolly. Other than that, he kind of just takes a step back and lets everybody else get on with it. And then you've got the three young boys, which is a really nice combination. They like to have a bit of fun, have a good play session together. So overall, it's a really lovely group that works really well.
And they're all pretty switched on when it comes to treats. Feisty female Quappa starts hoarding hers, while Bueno Jr. takes his away from other prying fingers. And Enzo doesn't hang around to eat his.
They've got such delicate little fingers that they're really good at manipulating things, you know, getting the tiny seeds and raisins out of the pine cones, small gaps, anything like that there. And they'll spend a bit of time trying to do it. If they really want something, then they will put in the effort to get it out.
Once the pine cones have been plundered, it's time to see what else is about. Enzo's keen on some greens. Levar has added juicy melon to his 5 a day. It's so good, Quappa's prepared to go to any efforts to reach it. Four-year-old Bueno Jr. is the most recent addition to the group. He was rejected as a baby by his mum, Sarah, following an emergency cesarean section. But now he's thriving.
Bueno Jr. was one of our hand-reared woolly monkeys, but he really seems to have taken a shine to Levar when he got put in the group. Kind of must see him as a bit of a role model. He kind of tries to copy him doing certain things and follows him around a lot. And Levar's very good, he's very patient with him, and he does enjoy having a play session with him as well.
It's been a sad afternoon at the hospital. Kim, the golden-cheeked Gibbon, has lost her baby following an emergency cesarean operation.
I think we've lost him.
But now the focus is on Kim. The team are waiting for her to wake up from her first ever anaesthetic.
Oh, Miss Kim.
They need to get her back into a crate and keep an eye on her as she comes around. It's vital she's closely monitored, so Vet Thezar checks her heart rate. He's keen she doesn't go back to sleep.
Come on.
Gimme, gimme.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You're a bit sleepy and you're already happy there. What I would like you to do is just keep bothering her.
Yep.
Yes, don't let her go to sleep.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to take an extra big blanket with you or get one, because then when
The other issue is the cold. She needs to stay really warm as she comes round. So once she's back home, the team put a blanket on the floor under her crate. But within minutes, an unsteady Kim gets out of the crate. Gibbons live high in tops of trees for safety, so her natural instinct is to try and go up. Tien isn't sure what to make of his wobbly partner. Normally, Tien would give Kim a hug, but she's behaving differently, and the smell of the hospital and people is probably confusing for him. So he leaves Kim curled up in the corner to recover on her own. Next time on Monkey Life. Ruby, the park's newest marmoset, gets to meet the boys. But it doesn't all go according to plan.
Hey, yeah, I'll give him a little squirt.
And after a breakfast of fruit and jelly for the orangs, RoRo's left with the washing up. This time on Monkey Life, Ruby, the park's newest marmoset, gets to meet the boys.
Hey, missus. Good girl, Rubes.
But it doesn't all go according to plan.
Hey, yeah, I'll give him a little squirt.
Lola, the chimp, is diagnosed with an eye condition.
Hey, loving.
The care team must teach her to allow a close-up examination.
Eyes. Good girl.
And after a breakfast of fruit and jelly for the orangs, RoRo's left with the washing up. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I think this one's a little boy, and I think that that one over there might be an older lady.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. It's a big day for the park's newest marmoset. Ruby, a black tufted adult, was rescued from a private home in Grimsby, and she spent last night across the corridor from 2 adult males. It's hoped they'll form a happy group. Jock is a common marmoset, famed in the park for good manners and good temper, and he's first in to meet her.
Come in and say hello, Jock.
Good boy. Slow is better. Hey, missus. Good girl, Rubes.
Jock is keen to introduce himself to the new neighbour without making a lot of fuss.
Jock just tried to approach Ruby in quite a calm and gentle way, and she backed away. So he's now following her, and she's just moving away nicely and slowly from him. So that's good. Jock's gone up to her and sniffed her and had a few tongue flicks, which is flirting for a marmoset. Males will flick their tongues at the ladies. Good boy. And she accepted all of that, and they've actually met face to face a couple of times and had a little sniff. So far, so good.
It's a good start, but Jock is only half of the adult male duo, and there's one more to meet.
Right, I'm gonna open up the whole house so that Colin has access to them too.
Colin is younger and smaller than Jock, but has a big, bolshy attitude. He's not great at making new friends, and chuntering indicates aggression.
All right, Colin, arm leave, please.
Unlike Jock's gentle approach, Colin's is full on.
The worry is that every time Jock moves towards her, does Colin come steaming in and feel like it's a team thing against her. So we'll have to wait and see. If anything, what Colin should do if he were behaving more normally is try and become friends with Ruby and then try and boot Jock out. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Ruby's getting wary as Colin gets more aggressive.
Hey, yeah, I'll give him a little squirt.
A squirt of water is usually enough to calm the situation.
Hey, you.
But not today. Alison is pulling the plug before anyone gets hurt. This group will not make a happy trio.
So we're pretty much back to the drawing board now with Ruby and who we put with her. There was the thought that perhaps we could leave Jock with her and find Colin someone else, but unfortunately Colin has a history of being a very stroppy boy with any other male. We've actually tried him with previous combinations of different people. And he's always reacted quite badly. So we don't want to ruin the Jock-Colin relationship that we've got, because we have at least one marmoset reliably Colin will get on with. So we're going to have to look at who we've got at the park and who we could potentially try with Ruby now.
Across the park, the orangutans in Tuan's group face a challenging start to the day. Breakfast is arriving by the bucket load, but there's been a change to the menu.
We've decided to put a jelly bucket out for the orangutans. Should be a bit of fun for them. It's low calorie as well, so it's free fun.
As well as the jelly, there's an unusual take on a fruit punch.
I got a breakfast, really nice breakfast. Put it in the big tap truck and soak in the water. So some floating and some underneath, right stuck at the bottom. So they're gonna have fun. Nice breakfast, eh?
But Tuan and his ladies are going to have to work for their meal. While the food stuff is all placed up high, there are decoy buckets of bubble bath on the ground. The challenge for each member of the group is to work out which bucket is which, before the others do. Arme heads straight for the foam. Surely there's breakfast under here. If it's not there, maybe this one? Jolie watches closely just in case she's onto something. But no, this is a real head-scratcher. Arme leaves no stone, or rather no bucket, unturned in her hunt for the food. Tuan, however, is an old hand at this and steals a bucket for himself. RoRo follows his example. Linga's found a bucket now, but she's determined not to share it with anyone. Arme's found some fruit at last, but has a more generous nature and lets Jolie share. Linga is on the hunt for even more hidden treats. RoRo savours every last drop before carefully washing her hands. While Tuan prefers the finger-licking approach. And avoids the washing up by having a snooze. At Paddy's enclosure, the chimps are enjoying the summer sunshine in their own individual ways. Grisby opts for full-on sunbathing. Mickey is just chilling, while Clin enjoys a picnic, and Paddy and Bart are keeping an eye on things. But for one female, even sultry summer days are becoming increasingly difficult, which is why the care team are keeping a close watch on Lola, who has developed a problem with her eyes.
We did notice that her eyesight was deteriorating from her behaviour as well as seeing it physically, so it was a bit of a mixture between the both. Obviously we could see what was going on with Lola's eyes, but we weren't sure just how much of her eyesight she was losing.
Lola has been diagnosed with cataracts. It appears her right eye is worse than her left. It's starting to affect her quality of life and her safety.
She's moving around okay at the moment. We have seen her miss the odd step, which particularly up high is quite dangerous for Lola's care long term. And not only that, she is obviously missing out on bits of food. And generally being around a chimp group, they're very active, they've got a lot of energy, they are moving around very fast, so it can be quite hard for Lola to keep up with that. And actually she does react and get quite nervous when a chimp suddenly runs past her. It takes her by surprise much more than with the other individuals because she just can't see everywhere around her.
The team estimate that Lola is 28, which is middle-aged for a chimp. She was smuggled from the wild and rescued in 1993 from a life as a photographer's prop on a beach in Spain.
Come on!
To monitor Lola's eyesight and check the deterioration, Lisa has been giving her one-on-one clicker training sessions. Lola has been trained to come in, present her eyes to the mesh,
Eyes. Good girl.
and let Lisa use an ophthalmoscope to examine her cataracts.
Eyes. We're just looking at the level of cloudiness really. In Lola's pupil she has white dots, so it's checking to see if they've got any bigger. She has clouding over the actual eye, which we need to keep an eye on, as well as training her to hold her eyes steady. Lola, eyes? Whilst they're being looked at. Because quite often the chimps, when you're looking into their eyes, will move their eyes around quite a bit, so we just need to get Lola's focus and hold steady so that when she is looked at, we can get a really good examination of the eye. Girl.
Many of the chimps at the park are trained to present certain parts of their body for checking. But training Lola to allow her eyes to be examined is much more demanding and precise. But it's important. Once she's comfortable with it, an eye specialist will be able to determine if she can have an operation to remove the cataracts. And allowing the staff to examine her eyes will mean aftercare and recovery will be easier.
Lola's proven to be really good with her training, so we should be able to do the aftercare really well with her. So hopefully she should have full eyesight back and go back to being a nice, happy chimp.
At the Saki and squirrel monkeys' shared enclosure, it's hoped that love, or at least friendship, could soon be in the air. Chloe, a female Saki monkey, arrived yesterday from France as a potential partner for aging male Saki, Jethro. The French female settled in quickly and was obviously hoping for a tête-à-tête with her prospective mate. Unfortunately, he took more of a laissez-faire attitude to the possibilities. Jethro may well have spent too much time as a bachelor, enjoying his own company. But Karen from the primate care team is happy with Chloe's progress.
Chloe's done really well overnight. They settled well last night. They all ate dinner, happily moving around the rooms together. All were fine this morning when I came into work. And again, they all ate breakfast. And we're ready to let them out.
At the park, the Saki and squirrel monkeys share an enclosure. While they're very different, they get along well together.
Good monkeys. Here you go, guys.
Each morning, the squirrel monkeys and Jethro head outside to enjoy the day. Munching on her breakfast, it takes Chloe a while to realise everyone else has vanished, but she soon catches on.
Took her about 10 minutes before she came outside, but ever since then she's been enjoying the outside enclosure, has literally been all the way around it, checking out every single spot.
Chilled out Chloe is equally at home outside as in. And she seems completely accepting of her new companions, the squirrel monkeys. But Jethro still isn't paying her any attention. He's a monkey of habit and heads to a favourite spot to tongue flick, a Saki flirting behaviour. It's just a pity it's not yet directed at Chloe. Unaware of the possibilities in their midst, the active squirrel monkeys are their usual curious selves. Topsy searches for tasty insects. And Charlie buzzes around, demonstrating his fly-catching skills. Even the changeable British weather doesn't put them off. Meanwhile, with her initial attempts to befriend Jethro rebuffed, Chloe opts to enjoy the outdoors and joins in the feast.
Jethro's still not completely sure about Chloe. She still quite likes him and she goes up to him quite a few times, but at the moment he's still moving away from her. He's not upset by her, he's not scared of her, so it's just, it will take time for them to get settled.
It's still early days, but there's plenty of time for the elderly couple to become friends. And that might be enough for both of them. At the golden-cheeked Gibbon enclosure, young female Kim is happily hanging out again with her partner Tuan. It's a relief for the care team, who've been worrying about her after a difficult week.
Everything is back to normal now with Tuan and Kim. I mean, we had to keep Kim inside really for a few days to let her stomach really settle down. We didn't want to risk her being up in these beautiful trees and taking a big leap and actually bursting open those stitches. So we kept them both in, kept them nice and quiet for a few days. Now they're just as back to normal, close and really loving together.
The young Gibbon had an emergency cesarean operation after the staff discovered she was in labour and experiencing difficulties. The vet was called in, but sadly, she lost the baby.
I think we've lost him. Anybody disagree?
Kim's post-op recovery was a very worrying time for her carers.
When Kim came round from the anaesthetic, she's very confused and disorientated, and you could see that her limbs were all wobbly and her eyes were a bit sort of drunk looking. She wasn't coordinated and she was falling over, so it's a little bit worrying when they're in that sort of coming round stage.
They're used to seeing her loved up and affectionate with partner Tuan. But after she lost the baby, there was a change in her behaviour. The normally active, feisty female was very subdued and solitary.
Whether that was simply a physical result of the pain that she was in because she'd had a large operation, she had a large scar, or whether that was that understanding and she actually just was really sad because her baby was gone, it's hard for us to know.
Whatever the cause, the operation had a big impact on Kim and Tuan's relationship.
We didn't see Tuan anywhere near Kim for over 24 hours, which is very unusual. They're normally always hugging. Now, part of that could simply be the fact that Kim would have smelt very bizarre. With the combination of the chemicals that we use to obviously clean up her body, the anaesthetic chemicals, they obviously come out the body as well, and they do smell quite strong and quite an offensive kind of smell as well. Or maybe he just thought it was best to stay out the way because these girls can be a little bit grumpy sometimes, and so it was maybe just the wisest thing to just keep out her road for now.
But within a few days, things began to improve, and Kim is showing signs of a good recovery. She's eating well, and despite her stitches, is moving more freely round the house. Tuan is also more relaxed, and crucially, they're back to sitting alongside each other and hanging out. The couple have recovered from their ordeal and are back to normal, and just as loving as ever. Kim's lost baby was an unexpected pregnancy, but the park does support breeding programs for some of its primate residents, and with good reason. In the wild, woolly monkeys are classified as vulnerable, but in captivity could be considered endangered, as they're notoriously difficult to breed and suffer from chronic hypertension. The park is part of a program helping to ensure the continuation of this rare South American species, and the team have had great success, with 16 babies born at the park in the last 10 years. And over at Oscar's group, it looks like more good news is on the way.
Thingy. We are suspecting that Zingu is pregnant again. She's shown a few signs, some of the behaviours, eating a bit more, drinking a bit more, and she definitely seems to be a bit more swollen, kind of on the underneath side of her stomach area. To know exactly how far along she is in her pregnancy is quite hard for us to tell. We do look for particular differences in their behaviours and things like that, but that's the only real thing we've got to go on other than the size of her belly growing.
This will be Zingu's second baby. She's already raised one here at the park, Zavi, who's now 2.
She's a fantastic mum. She really cared for her babies really well. She's a brilliant mum. We couldn't ask for anything better, really.
Father to Zavi and the new baby is the leader of the troop, Oscar.
Oscar's brilliant with the youngsters. He absolutely adores any of the babies, any of the children in the group. He's a real softie at heart, a real gentle character. So doesn't mind when the babies start crawling all over him, has a good old play session when they get a bit older. So Oscar's a fantastic dad for the babies to have.
Oscar was born in the wild. The team think he's about 30 years old, which is several years older than the average lifespan for a woolly. In recent months, the years have started catching up with him.
He suffers from quite bad spinal arthritis, which unfortunately recently has been playing up for him. He did have quite a bad spell recently where it actually meant that he lost the use of his back legs almost completely. So unfortunately for a couple of days he wasn't able to move around very well at all. His mobility really was limited. Luckily though, with a lot of work with him, different medications and to help him through the pain, things like that, we have managed to get the use of his legs back for him. So life at the moment for Oscar is just a case of monitoring him, taking him completely on a day-by-day basis, and taking life at his pace. We just need to make sure that he's happy every day and comfortable, so whatever we can do for him, then we will do.
With a new son or daughter likely to arrive in the next few months, the team are hoping this elderly and loving dad will be around to see the new arrival. Next time on Monkey Life, Lola the chimp is losing her sight. A human eye specialist is called in to operate.
You can see I'm just going to peel like a little window in the lens.
And baby orangs Rieke and Bulu find exploring is best done in pairs. This time on Monkey Life, Lola the chimp is losing her sight. A human eye surgeon is called in to operate.
You can see I'm just going to peel like a little window in the lens. That's quite tough.
Baby orangs Rieke and Bulu Mata find exploring is best done in pairs.
When anything unusual happens, that's the natural reaction, they just cuddle.
And young chimp Thelma proves to be a willing pupil. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
We've really done everything we can to make her journey as smooth as possible.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. It's a big day at the park's hospital. A specialist team of doctors and nurses, along with Monkey World's vet team, are prepping for a very important and rare operation. And in order to do the procedure, an impressive piece of kit called a phaco machine has arrived. It will transform the life of one of the primates.
Today we have quite a big and unique medical day because we've organized for a specialist human ophthalmic surgeon to come in and do a cataract operation on one of our chimpanzees. Today is the day for Lola's op. She's in her late 20s now. She's been at Monkey World for more than 20 years and was originally a beach photographer's prop when she was rescued all of those years ago. So she suffered malnutrition, beatings around the head, and it's those two factors that have set her up for premature cataracts in both eyes.
For a chimpanzee like Lola, this is a big problem. She lives in a large social group with 18 others, and it's essential she has her eyesight and her wits about her. Her failing eyesight is making her awkward around the other chimps, and this is affecting her social standing. Today's operation will hopefully help put that right.
We've got all sorts of specialist gear, people, nurses. It's gonna be a crazy day, but you know, whatever it takes if we can give Lola some vision back.
The phaco machine will be there.
So John...
The surgeon performing the operation is human eye specialist Lindsay Bray, and he has his team close to hand. He's done thousands of cataract operations on humans, but today's procedure on a chimpanzee is a first for him.
This sort of surgery, as far as I know, has only been done once before. Now, from what I've read of this single case that's been done, it seemed to technically be a very similar operation to one I've done in humans about 14,000 times, so it should be very similar.
A cataract occurs when the lens of the eye becomes progressively opaque, resulting in blurred vision.
The aim of the surgery is to replace that cloudy lens by an artificial lens. And the strength of that lens, there's a range of different strengths that humans usually have. The single chimpanzee who's had surgery fell right in the centre of that range, so that's the strength of lens I'm going to use.
Jeremy and specialist wildlife vet John Lewis are heading over to the bedrooms to check on Lola. She's already been given a pre-op sedative to relax her, and next the care team will attempt to administer a general anaesthetic.
Now, if I turn up and try and inject her, she'll take one look at me and run off. But the staff that have her trained for injections are the obvious ones that she will trust and allow that injection to be made. So I'm waiting for the staff to tell me she's been injected, she's had everything, and everything's going fine. Ideally, the keeping staff will be able to just ask her to present her arm to the mesh at the front of the cage and then just gently inject her into her upper arm. And that's far more gentle, less traumatic than a dart, which is the alternative.
Lisa has managed to inject Lola successfully, and John checks that the anaesthetic has taken full effect before the tricky job of moving her to the hospital. Once asleep, she's transported the short distance to the operating room. Any anaesthetic can be dangerous, and the team won't be happy until Lola is on the table and hooked up to the equipment so that she can be properly monitored. While she's under the anaesthetic, they quickly check her weight.
Can you just tip her head down a bit? Hold on. Yeah, tip her chin down. Yeah, that's it. So we're going to need more support under her head.
With the outcome of the procedure not guaranteed, Lindsay will operate on only one of Lola's eyes. So he needs a good look at both to determine which one is worse.
Right, so if you have a look on the screen there, okay, you can see that is quite a dense cataract. I mean, all that white stuff is cataract. Just go to the other side, and that one does look a lot clearer. It's pretty good, actually. Yeah, so there's no doubt we'll be doing the right eye.
Every minute she's under anaesthetic is risky, and it's a tense time for the team. But they're determined to give her back her sight. In Hananya's enclosure, someone's having a lot of fun. The youngest chimp in the park, Thelma, aged 2.5, is out in the sun and playing with Simon, one of her doting uncles. Play is really important, developing her strength and trust, and how to creep up on uncles while they pretend not to notice. But inside the main house, there are lessons to be learned. And it's the primate care team who are the teachers. It's clicker training time, educating the chimps to present different body parts for inspection and treatment. Plus, it's the vitamin run.
This is an activity that we do at every chimp house every day, again, not at a set time. We just give out vitamins to everybody in the group. And we're doing that just to try and encourage the individuals in to see if Thelma will come in. But it's something that we would do anyway at some point during the course of the day.
When it comes to learning, this lot are top of the class.
Good girl. Hananya's group are actually a really good group. Most members of the group know pretty much all of the behaviours, which means that the sessions for them are very rewarding because there's lots of variety in what you can do with them.
To be surrounded by 19 highly responsive chimps has been great for Thelma, and it's not long before she arrives to practice her own skills.
Hello, Thelma.
Already she knows to come to the right point on the mesh and give her right hand.
Good girl. Thelma's doing really well. It's kind of a bit about retraining the staff, really, because obviously she's a smaller animal, so her appetite's much smaller. She takes longer to eat. So it's just kind of slowing the whole thing down and going at her pace, you know. But given she's not yet 3, she's already got 5 behaviours. She's doing really well and she's really keen on the training.
She's also learnt to present her left hand, both feet, and importantly for a young chimp, to open her mouth.
We're able to document her teeth as they come through, and obviously when she then loses her baby set, we'll already have that open mouth behaviour. So you can see that was a really nice open mouth behaviour. And you're getting to see all that lovely set of teeth that she's got.
Because the chimps are trained together,
Good girl.
It also teaches everyone good group manners.
Thelma is the daughter of the dominant female, so she has a very special status in this group, and it's teaching her to wait and to take turns and to respect the other animals, which means that we can give things out in a non-disruptive environment.
It's clear that Thelma is a bright chimp.
Her mother, Cherry, is a very intelligent chimp. She obviously has the status of alpha female in the group, and that certainly she's got to that position with experience and intelligence. And Thelma's a chip off the old block, really.
But just like all toddlers, Thelma can get distracted. Although it doesn't take much to convince her to come back and finish the session.
So I'm just waiting for her to make eye contact with me, Thelma, when I reinforce her, just so that I'm sure that she understands what the process is. She's really got quite a nice duration to her behaviours already. You can see that she's quite happy to hold that hand, you know, for a reasonable length of time.
But once the session is over, it's back to what young chimps do best: playing and having fun. At the Orang nursery, babies Rieke and Bulu Mata are loving their new custom-built playroom. It's perfect for young orangs to learn how to climb and be independent. But the cute duo are now getting so big and mischievous that carer Lewis needs to move them out while he cleans.
How you do? Hey, Bulu boy.
This cheeky pair would cause chaos with a bucket and mop.
Heavy. I'm taking these two to a different room just for cleaning their playroom. So yeah, we have one of the back rooms is set up to be quite similar to their playroom. So there's a lot of hosing for them to move, and we put some food, some wood walls, so they are right there for a bit. And then we clean their room and then we move them back. It's quite important for them as well to have different spaces where they're comfortable in, because then soon enough they're gonna have access to the whole house.
In the wild, baby orangs spend hours gripping tightly to their mums, so a quick trip between rooms clinging to Lewis is no problem. This room is connected to outdoor tunnels, an ideal training ground for getting used to the great outdoors, something the babies are yet to experience.
Hello, Rieke!
Rieke and Bulu head out to explore. Faced with new things, the babies always hold on to each other for moral support, which makes walking quite difficult. And although Bulu is faster and stronger, Rieke is much braver in new places, and she quickly takes the lead. Bulu is easily distracted, and Rieke hopes she's not missing anything. Today, with their room clean and tidy, there's time for another adventure before they head back.
Come on, Rieke! Yeah. Are you on, Rieke? There you are. Okay. Let's go to the playroom.
Ultimately, the team want the youngsters to graduate to living full-time with the other, much bigger, older nursery group and their foster mums. So the next step is getting them familiar with the big kids' playroom, without the big kids inside it.
The idea is that Bulu and Rieke will get comfortable with this space, and then when it comes to time where we bring the other kids in with them, they are comfortable enough to just run around. They can socialize when they want in their own terms. If they don't want to, they can run, they can find the hiding spots because they will already know them. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment, get them comfy and used into this playroom.
But the babies aren't totally convinced.
It's a normal behavior to cuddle to each other when they have, when anything unusual happens. That's the natural reaction. They just cuddle and then slowly separate and then start exploring and start finding interesting things.
But this pair don't take long to get over their initial nerves. And they're soon off the ground.
It was quite impressive how straight away they like climbing up. It's quite a height in this building. So yeah, we were all a bit worried, but they are excellent climbers now. They're doing really well. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed with them. I think they are honestly ready to move on and meet the others.
So it won't be long before the devoted duo get the chance to make new friends. But for now, they get to enjoy this big space all to themselves.
I'm gonna stay here for a couple of minutes, make sure they are comfortable and they're happy here, and then I'm just gonna get out and leave them for the day here. I'm just gonna watch them from the distance, from the outside, and they can do their own thing.
And while the care team get on with other duties, Rieke and Bulu do exactly that. And have a basket full of fun. At the park's hospital, everything is almost set for a very rare and unique operation. Chimpanzee Lola has been anaesthetised and is being prepped for surgery. A specialist team of doctors and nurses, led by human eye surgeon Bray, are going to operate on Lola's right eye to remove a large cataract. Recent advances in human medicine, particularly in keyhole surgery, have made this operation possible.
In the past, cataract surgery hasn't been done in chimpanzees because it had to be done through very large incisions. Now it can be done through a tiny incision, just as we do in a human. The whole procedure is a lot safer. The eye is never opened right up, so after the operation, as long as Lola's eye is reasonably comfortable, she won't poke it or press it, and that reduces the risk of infection.
The majority of cataract procedures done on humans are relatively straightforward, and Lindsay has performed thousands of them before. But operating on a chimp is a first for him. And there are some anxious faces in the room.
Will it bother anyone if I have the lights, the top light down? Okay, so I'm just putting in a dye.
The first stage of this delicate operation is to remove a circle of clear tissue from the surface of the lens. By injecting and then draining blue dye, the lens stands out and makes it easier for Lindsay to carefully remove.
That's quite tough.
The circle of lens he's removing will be replaced with a brand new artificial lens after the cataract has been removed.
You can see I'm just going to peel like a little window in the lens. This just separates the lens from the contents there. The lens starts off clear, and when it becomes white, then it's called, that's what a cataract is. So you can see what I've done. I've actually moved it into the front of the eye, you see, and all this white stuff has got to go.
A high-tech piece of ultrasound equipment called a phaco machine is used to break up the cataract. A small probe is inserted into the eye, and sound waves split the cataract into small pieces, which are then sucked up.
It's just like a human, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so you can put the lights on. The whole cataract's been removed now, so can you see the faint blue circle there? Now that is a hole in the front of the lens. So the lens is like a flat disc. And what I've done is removed the top of that, and that's what that circle is. So that I've got the rest of the disc there with the little window in the front, and the implant is going to go into that.
The tiny new lens is rolled up and put in an injector, which is inserted through the original minute incision just under 3 millimeters wide. Once inside the eye, it's unravelled and placed over the circle of lens that Lindsay originally removed. The small wings on the side of the new lens keep it in place.
Now I'll put a suture in, Nikki. That looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. Perfect.
It looks like a human one there. If you have a look at the implant, can you see that there are rings? Those rings are different distances of focus. So Lola should be able to focus, that distance, intermediate. It's like a multifocus contact lens. Lola has got the best. And this is just an antibiotic. And now we're finished. Phew.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone.
Only time will tell if the operation has been a success, but today couldn't have gone any better.
If tomorrow is a really bright day, I'd keep her in.
Despite having done 14,000 of these operations before, this one managed to surprise even a surgeon of Lindsay's experience.
just how incredibly human chimpanzee eye is, almost identical to a human, behaved in the same way surgically, exactly the same dimensions. But for the colour, I couldn't have told the difference. Really, it was absolutely identical. That was the surprising thing. It was actually very straightforward, and I was very pleased with it.
Lola will now be taken to a darkened bedroom where she'll spend the next 24 hours recovering under the watchful eye of the team. Next time on Monkey Life, a new woolly arrival at the park.
So far, all the signs are positive. Zingu's doing all the right things. We just let her get on with it and be the good mum that we know she will be.
And after her eye operation, Lola focuses on food.